Hello, welcome back to our MekHQ playthrough Raven Acquisitions. The last episode, we actually had a pretty darn good little battle, defeated some warrior VTOL attacks. We we chased down and killed one Phoenix Hawk on the enemy team. That's really about it. Now, I was complaining quite a bit about the through armor criticals, so I went into options and I turned them off. I'll no longer get through armor criticals on the enemy, they'll no longer get them on me. Also, I turned on vehicle effectiveness. So the vehicles that enemy fields and the vehicles that I field, I guess, although I don't really run them very much, they're less likely to take critical hits, so it makes them a little bit more survivable. And that's about it. I think everything else is the same. And we have a battle ready to go. I'm just picking up from, for you, it would have been yesterday. For me, it was maybe 5 or 10 minutes ago. But we have a convoy interdiction. Our job here is to destroy 50% of the convoy. Destroy 50% of the following forces to force the convoy surrender. Cool. Let's deploy. We'll deploy our one functional lance at the moment. And send her off. It's Icy Hill, so I'm not looking forward to this. Hopefully it won't be too horrific, but you never know. We have an ally. We have an archer as an ally, which is pretty darn cool. Oh, a flashman. I would love to capture the flashman, but can't do it with our salvage levels. Oh no, I see another icy ocean. Look at this. This isn't going to work. The enemy has to deploy south. Well, I guess I'll start here. Yeah, they're gonna have to deploy like all right there. All right, well the Warhammer can deploy over here. The Cronus can deploy here since he can jump. Phoenix Hawk can jump. Warhammer. Awesome. Well, we'll see if I can get my Orion involved. Yeah, I don't know how this is gonna work. Where's the actual convoy at? I see a power man. Is that the entire convoy? That would be very strange if it were. I don't know. Another horrible map to play on. But we'll be done with this world. And hopefully fingers crossed we won't end up on another one like this for a little while. Awesome can move up here. He'll get partial cover behind the level 2 hill. Warhammer, that archer's really in the way. Well, 9, 8. This is a up 4. See if the vehicle effectiveness actually works out. Flashman, 10. I guess we'll just fire at what we're best at hitting at the moment. Fire at the best numbers. Basically, in BattleTech, in the round 1, you're basically just firing. Like you might end up spreading your shots out a little bit. I'm not at the moment, but you basically just fire at whatever has the best targeting numbers. Once you start closing in a bit, you'll fire at you'll focus your fire. as much as you can. Well, that didn't seem to help the Rommel that much. He still took a AC. Yeah, he's still taking like crits. So I don't know. Maybe it would have been worse. So the convoy consists of one unit. It's literally just the power man. Okay, fine. The Orion can go like this. I'm not too eager to. The Awesome will stand still behind the hill. The Warhammer will march on up here. The Cronus will jump off to the flank here a bit. Same for the P-Hawk. Oops. I'll go right here. Actually, I'm only facing that way, so I could maybe run around at some point. Then the Warhammer will go like this. And I think you should still maybe have partial cover, but we'll see. Tens versus nines. Sevens. Didn't we start out with a Power Man, or we start with a Buster Mech? And we lost it when the enemy popped up all in our face. During that one mission where we were just thought I was being real slick, hide against the edge of the map, and then the enemy deployed on the edge of the map. Twist. Need sevens. Why not? And then sevens. So we'll put all 3 PPCs into them. And that Buster Mech is down. The industrial mechs. Okay, all right, cool. He's just taking a lot of damage to his center torso. Yeah, 3 PPC hits to the center torso in one turn. But at least it's not through armor criticals. I don't want to win by through armor criticals. I want to win by being a better strategist and sometimes just getting lucky, like in terms of RNG, but not through armor critical type of lucky, if you catch my drift. It's Rommel tank. He has. I thought his AC-20 took a malfunction. We're gonna start jumping down here to deal with that thing, and we're gonna jump over here. I think this Warhammer is gonna. He's not gonna back up. He's gonna run like this. Just get around the corner, and the Awesome's gonna stand still. So hang on. So that's convoy surrender. Doesn't say anything about op4, like forcing the op4 to surrender. Because I was thinking, like, wow, am I allowed to just end the scenario? And they count as having surrendered, but I don't think so. It says convoy. Even though I'm pretty sure these, these escorts are part of the convoy. I can twist and get my right arm. No, I can't. Alright, skip. Phoenix Hawk. Can fire one medium, save some heat. Now we're going to twist and get a second Warhammer worth of short range firepower into play. And then the Awesome. We are ripping off all three. There we go. No gyro. He's probably yep. He's just cord center torsoed. Now, hmm, so the Orion will just stay. Nope, he'll move right here and get partial cover. The Awesome will stay there and get partial. The Warhammer will go down. I don't know. There's a lot of artillery coming in, so maybe just go like this and turn a bit. This Warhammer will back up. The Cronus. Well, I'm really hesitant to jump in there, but let's just do it. And the Phoenix Hawk will jump down there on this rough terrain in the middle of the ice sheet. Well, pilot's dead. Skip. All right, so the only thing that's really going to be shooting here are these guys. This might really hurt if he whacks me with a EC-20. In theory, if I really wanted to. Man, he that I thought he took a critical of that thing, but he just schwacked me with it. I mean, in theory, I could just sit back and let the arty and just fire at them, and, until eventually they score a hit. Skip, skip, like this. The Cronus is going to jump on out of there for a minute. Phoenix Hawk is going to jump on out of there for a minute. Man, that Cronus still gets hit by arty. Alright, fine. And now we unload on this guy, now that he's showing himself. Hold fire there. Twist and put some PPCs. Now we'll shoot mediums and SRMs. How about that? And then the Awesome. 3 PPCs. Crew stunned. The Archer goes down. He's going to get possibly pummeled. Skip. Skip. The Cronus can come up here. Phoenix Hawk can go like this. Warhammer is going to back up just to get out of that arty barrage that's happening down there. Archer's flopping around. Hey, hits my... Okay, there he goes. And it's over. So we're going to do victory. Done. Done. The enemy retains battlefield control. So we do not get the battlefield. We're going to go next. The Power Man was dropped by the Orion, and the Rommel tank was killed off by artillery, but we did, like, it was a combination of everyone. So we'll just grant it to, let's give it to the Phoenix Hawk. He doesn't really get kills very often. Everyone contributed. Finish. Command center area of operations. Let's advance a day. Cool. We get Charlie Lance back. Let's deploy Charlie Lance. There's a critical convoy escort. What does that mean? An allied convoy is carrying supplies. It's a turning point mission. We're at 3 campaign victory points. This mission happens in 2 days from now. Cold hills, snow, tundra. We'll control the field at the end of the battle, so it's a chance for some salvage. It's a training cadre, so they might not be very good. We will be starting south. You know what? Let's give it a try. Let's advance a day, get our lance back. The awesome, nope, not that one. The Warhammer, so we're just reloading ammo pretty much. Warhammer, Phoenix Hawk, replacing a little itty bitty armor. The Cronus, of course, got his arm nearly shot off. We'll have our green technicians replace this armor. When is this mission? Tomorrow? Pier Bay. This guy just needs ammo reloads. Orion needs an ammo reload and some armor and another reload and another reload. And just in case I missed anything, so TOD, looks like we're in good condition. We can deploy into this battle. Yeah, let's do it. Manage deployment. Front line. I know this might be overkill, but we're escorting a convoy, which means we have to actually, you got to get a lot of firepower on the enemy before they can kill off your stuff. Parts need a report. We got stuff hopefully on the way here. Let's order. Oh, we have one in inventory. Hand actuator for 60 tons. Let's take a look at that. I think that's the Ostrock. There it is. So we're going to assign that to this corporal here. It's going to take a little while to fix. It's going to take like 3 days to fix that. Right, let's save the game. And let's hop into this. So we're going to advance to tomorrow. Okay. The Ostrock is improving in quality because we actually let it slip there for a while. We had it in our hangar. It was, like it wasn't functional or anything, but it still isn't being maintained. Okay, so this should be the very last battle. We have fully scouted the map. We have completed everything asked of us, and it's a raid, so we're going to be getting out of here. Hopefully with a little bit of loot after beating up their training cadre. Enemy morale is critical. So we've basically, oh my gosh, we have, yeah, basically crushed them. And this is the convoy. It's a Power Man, and they're sending a spider as an ally. Okay, let's do it. This map looks a little bit swampy, but swampy's better than icy. Is this our Power Man? It is. Is this a swamp? It's heavy woods. We'll put the Orion in there. We'll put the Warhammer uh, over here. We're going to try to put some of our faster units here near the Power Man. That Phoenix Hawk is not fully fixed, not fully repaired, or the Cronus is not fully repaired. And then the Awesome will just lumber along behind. And our whole goal here is to get out in front of this Power Man and be the meat shield. What do they have? This is a Stinger, Valkyrie, Phoenix Hawk, Maxim Hover Transport. Cool. We are not afraid of their firepower. We have them vastly outgunned and out armored. So really, the most important thing here is just protecting the convoy. And of course, he's going to keep rushing. He's going to run straight in there like a doofus. Oh, actually, have better shots on the Valkyrie. Fire off a couple that direction. First salvo of the game. Score a little bit of LRM chip damage. Against the Stinger, that's pretty darn good, actually. Let's get this Warhammer up here. I want the Power Man to get out of the way, but the Awesome will just have to go like this. Do they have the initiative? Control R. Let's see. Round 2. Yes, they do. Right. There's not really a lot I can do to keep that Control R to keep that Stinger from getting in the face. I could go like this and get a +2. Like this. Like this. And the Buster Mech can't jump, so yeah, it has to go this way. So we've got some nice escort. What the heck? Oh, cool. Our artillery landed on the enemy. Roll needs 10, misses, but it doesn't scatter much. Man, that Phoenix Hawk got hit 15, 25, and 15. So you get hit for 55 damage. Unlucky. Look at that. Twist and fire at the little stinger over there. Twist. Let's get my short range weapons into play. I really do like the Warhammer with all the variety of weapons that it has. Just wish that it sacrificed something, like maybe the SRM. I don't know, like bring it down like an SRM4 or something, and just use like that extra 1 or 1.5 tons for armor. That would be fantastic. Fire needing 9s. I'm going to put 2 shots into them. 10s. Well, we hit them. Hit his gyro. He's down. He got hit in the head with a PPC. Poor little stinger. Cool. Yeah, this already, I mean, it feels better already without the through armor criticals. Now it feels like BattleTech to me. This is how I remember BattleTech, where it really is a contest of who can position, who can use their armor effectively. It actually matters bringing armor. Cronus can. His left arm is just hanging on by a thread from that autocannon hit from last time. So we're going to jump him over here. I really do miss those old days of BattleTech. And I don't mean to just sound like an old complainer or anything where I hate like new BattleTech, but you know, wow, artillery, Johnny on the spot. All right, the twist. We're shooting at this Valkyrie. There's Phoenix Hawk and a Valkyrie over there. So Valkyrie, Phoenix Hawk. I did, I don't know if I actually have mentioned this in past episodes, but I play tested BattleTech, some of the scenario books, Twilight of the Clans. Play tested that. That's the Operation Serpent, Operation Bulldog. I play tested the Northwind Highlanders scenario book and the Roar, or not, the Dragon Roars. That's the Draconis Combine counterattack against the clans during Operation Serpent and all that. I I was one of the first people to see Protomechs actually during the is in the they premiered in the Twilight of the Clans. Well, they premiered in a technical readout, but I think the first scenario book they were ever seen in was Twilight of the Clans, the fighting on Huntress and all that. Phoenix Hawk. We're just gonna over here and kick this thing probably. I want to get in there and fight that Phoenix Hawk. Where is the Buster Mech? Is it right here? That's a spider. Okay. I didn't think much of the Proto Mechs. They just felt like, oh man, please don't hit our own convoy with artillery. They really just felt like oversized kind of. They were really strong when they first premiered. I think they had a penalty to being hit because of their size. They were like infantry like that, but they also worked in like groups of 5. And unlike elementals, they didn't. You couldn't kill them with like one gauze hit cleanly. We'll just foot platoon. I didn't realize there was infantry here. We'll machine gun them. But I didn't like proto mechs all that much. Of course, I've never, admittedly, like let's be honest here. I've never liked change very much as a person in general. I'm very once I get into my comfort zone, I really like to stay there. That's why I'm still playing battle. I'm still playing BattleTech after 30 some, basically 30 some years at this point. We'll kick the hover. I still play EverQuest, which is a game that came out in 1999. I go back almost every year to play on the new server. They put out a new server almost every year to play on. And the reason why I like to go back and play on it is because it basically returns you to the 1999 state of play, like the original. So a lot of you probably played World of Warcraft at this point, like World of Warcraft Classic, where what is this thing doing? Power Man, don't turn, just run, man. Your job is to run. What are you doing? My gosh. Um, so anyone who's played World of Warcraft Classic knows that it's the base game. It's the vanilla game. Or at least it started out that way. Well, EverQuest has been doing the same thing for years, where they release a new server every year. Is that the Phoenix Lock? It is. They release a new server every year, and it releases like in the original state with some quality of life improvements. Like it's not entirely vanilla, but there's some quality of life improvements and whatnot. But it's basically the same game. Cronus. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Get Power Man, get out of here. You cannot. This is not the place for you to be. Yeah. So EverQuest will every year does this thing. Releases a whole new server, and sometimes they'll do like a little bit of a catch to it. It's like, um, this one has extra loot this time around, which is actually pretty good because the game, as it came out in 1999, they expected people to be playing it for like years at a time. Like the original, I'm not sure how far ahead they planned, but I'm pretty sure they only had plans for like two expansions. So they're going to be playing the base game plus two expansions for years. So we're going to make it hard. We're going to make it so that not much loot drops off the enemies you fight. If you go out and kill like a you go out and fight like an orc or something, it's 12s to hit. You go out and fight an orc or something, he might only drop a few copper or a piece of cloth armor, like a wristband. Like, he might drop a t-shirt for you to wear. The really good loot is at the very end of the game, where you get to go fight dragons and the gods themselves. You have to go into the plains where the gods live and fight them. And you might fight, the god of hatred, Inarok himself, and he'll drop like 4 or 5 pieces of loot, which sounds pretty sweet, right? Until you realize that you had 30 people on this. You can have up to 72 people on a raid in EverQuest. The groups are 6 people, 6 people in a group, and you combine all these groups together to make a raid. And so you're trying to split just a handful of items per raid. And the end boss isn't the only one who drops stuff. There'll be like mini bosses and stuff along the way. But the chase loot, as gamers would call it, it drops off the main bosses, and there's not very much of it. So having a little, I don't mind a change like that where it makes it better for the players for the sake of just being better for the players. What I don't like is changes that are like, hey, this would there we go. The artillery took care of the job for us. Now we just need to focus on that Phoenix Hawk. Well, the good news is I should be able to kick them. We're just going to unload on them since it's easy to hit. What I don't like in games are changes for the sake of like, hey, let's shake up the meta. It's like, well, people generally are usually kind of happy with a meta up to a certain extent, unless it's if you ever play like Magic the Gathering or any other card game, the game is designed to release new expansions and things like that every so often. With Magic, it's like they release it like crazy anymore. Uh, it used to be they would have like 4 sets per year, like one every 3 months or so. Or was it 4 sets per year? Yeah, I think it was 4 sets per year because they'd have 3 core sets, and they'd have one core set, then have like 3 expansion sets. Okay, that's done. But you end up with Magic, Victory. Sometimes you just end up with a bad set. Same thing for Hearthstone. Probably for Yu-Gi-Oh! I've never played Yu-Gi-Oh! Sometimes you just get a bad set. You need to shake things up. But when you have a game like BattleTech, which has endured, it's been the same game for so many years, it's hard to it's hard for me to understand why they would shake it up so badly. This all got hit by artillery. So the Power Man, he reaches north because there's nothing there to stop him. Finished. Very cool. There was nothing. There's nothing left to salvage. Let's do a. Hang on. No point in doing this yet. We haven't returned. Long Tom ammo has arrived. And today we get a personnel update, personnel market. All right, Able Lance has returned from deployment. Um, Nothing here we really want. Close that out. Go to the hangar. We still have stuff in transit. Go to the repair bay. We'll mass repair, salvage everything that we can. Let's do this. This might actually help out a bit with getting things done in one day. Save as default. Yeah, this because it seems like with the target number having to be so low, we're not making use of a lot of our green text and ultra green and whatnot. Okay, so the mission is complete. Uh, we have fully scouted the map. We have completed all the objectives. This is a raid. It's an offensive operation. So according to our house rules, we can complete the mission now. Success. The enemy's offering us some money, 500,000 sea bills for their prisoners back. We should keep all of these people. Issue awards. Issue awards. Cool. Now we should. Hang on. There's like a Aztec pool. We can release the Aztecs. 100 and we'll release 100 of them. We'll we'll bring them all up to full strength again. Okay, so that we were at full strength. I was reading in the Discord that sometimes when you hire permanent Aztecs, you end up like over what you need. All right, so we got rid of all these prisoners. We're still the Cronus, yeah, still doing repairs and whatnot here, and they won't offer us another contract until the next month. Where are we? Oh, we're still pretty darn close here to the center. I wouldn't mind traveling back to Galatea. What if I calculate a jump path there? It would cost us 5 million to travel back. Not worth it. However, we're going to go to the end of the month here. All right, we have this left arm in stock. What about a veteran? We're going to use the elite tech for this. Do it. Advance a day. We can replace the armor here. Replace the actuators. The Ostrok is almost ready to go. What about this one? This thing here, scrap it, and we can put in a new gyro. Failed. Okay, cool. We have an Awestruck now. Hangar. We have a Atlas that has arrived. It's mothballed. We'll have to assign a technician to it here at some point. We have the Awestruck. It's undamaged. We can give them a pilot. We'll give them a veteran pilot for the Awestruck. Actually, we'll give them a regular pilot. We might need to save that veteran pilot for the Atlas. We're going to advance another day. We're almost at the end of the month. The Awesome. Just replacing some armor. We can fix the center torso on this Wasp. We use a veteran tech for that. We can reattach the left arm. We'll use a regular tech. We can repair the gyro. We can do that. Whoops, failed. Advance a day. So it looks like this is the end of the month. We're going to hang on to all these people if we can. Do task. Use the elite technician to fix this arm. No. No. All right, we'll use a veteran tech. Nope. Nope. We'll get it eventually. Maybe tomorrow. So it's October 1st. That means the unit market's been updated. Let's take a look at what we got here. Manticore heavy tank. That is a very solid tank. I think we're going to end up getting that. Yes, we're going to purchase the Manticore. There's a lot of stuff on the black market, but I don't trust the black market enough to risk. Uh, I'd love to get another awesome, but another fire starter would be pretty cool. Do we really need another fire starter? We could throw it in with the like the hovercraft lance, maybe? Let's hold off on that for a minute. So, according to our new house rules that we have, since we did a mission and we were on the mission for 1 month, we get to purchase 1 unit from the marketplace here using purchase unit. Now the question is, what do we want? We have to do it between missions here. That is the question. And we have to use available stuff. So we go to the introductory box set there. Okay, here's how we can do this. So the hover lance has been decimated. The wasp is currently out of action, but it will be back in action soon enough. The Valkyrie goes into Charlie Lance. We have to make a new lance here in Able Company. We'll call it Able Baker Charlie Delta Lance. We'll copy the force icon for that. Paste it. Delta Lance. I think Delta Lance will become our Light Lance. And we can move the hover lance to the bottom by dragging it up here, I think. There we go. And then here in the briefing room, Delta Lance becomes patrol. The rest of these we'll put into reserve for now. We'll go to the table of organization. We want to get Odin back into Able Lance. We'll put the Orion, that we need a leader there into Baker Lance. The two Centurions are going to go to Charlie. The Grand Dragon will stick with Baker. The Cronus is going to go down to Delta because they need some firepower in that lance. And then the second Awesome will go into Baker Lance. Just shuffle them around a little bit if I can. I can't. Okay. So that gives us some firepower, some speed for Baker, some jumping. I want to have jumping in each lance if possible. So that the Warhammers make a great pair with Odin. The Awesome and the Orion provide the backbone of firepower for Baker. They got some speed with the Grand Dragon and some jump with the Phoenix Hawk. Charlie Lance just kind of hanging out for now. If I need to, I can push them as reinforcements into either Baker or Able Lance. And then Delta Lance is going to be a reinforced lance of scouts. Now that we kind of have an idea of what we got here, I feel like Charlie Lance needs a heavy to help give them some firepower because the two Centurions are all right, but they're not anything to write home about. Another Orion wouldn't hurt, but maybe we'll go for a Thunderbolt. Do like me a Thunderbolt. I think there's one with machine guns. 5S. This is the one. So what is it? It has 15 heat sinks. That might be the one. It's packed with ammo. It's absolutely full of ammo. Thunderbolt 5D. No. And this is a custom mech that belongs to someone else. What about a Warhammer 6D? Oh, it has no machine guns. Okay. Check our hangar. We have the Atlas. Let's activate it. We're going to move forward today. We're going to assign them a technician. We're going to assign them a pilot. We have one veteran pilot left. We go back over here to the TO&D. Where can we... Charlie Lance can have the... we do have quite a bit of stuff here. I kind of forgot. That's the Atlas RS. The Atlas RS. I kind of like it. So we can leave that in here as like the Lance Commander. We can assign them a Ostrock. We can we can throw another Ostrock into... do we want 3 Warhammers in first Lance? That'd be kind of funny. Let's do it. And then an Ostrock into Baker Lance. And then we can reinforce Delta Lance, make it like a really reinforced light lance by giving it a Wyvern. The Atlas pilot's alright. The Ostrock pilots, Centurion. So Charlie Lance is hurting a little bit on gunnery. So maybe we will give them... We're going to break up the I'm not even sure. I thought maybe I could break up like the centurions, but this is fine. This gives us functional lances. This Charlie Lance isn't great, but it will do. It's not very mobile. It's like it might be an alright city fighting unit. Then we still have a lot of stuff that needs repaired. And that should be all of our uh, reserve units. And then we still have a javelin on the way and a crusader. So in fact, we could move the Valkyrie in with the hover lance. There we go. That's looking a little bit better. Then when the other light gets here, the javelin can maybe come into the hover lance, and that would give us two light lances we'd use for scouting. And then the crusader is going to go into Charlie Lance. All right, we're going to advance another day. Check out the personnel market. Wouldn't mind getting that Viper. Hunchback 4P, that's pretty good too. Oh well. All right, let's check out, before we end this, let's check out our. Actually, no, we'll check out the job market next time. We will check out the job market next time, and we'll start doing some repairs. So I'm going to go ahead and shut this down. I'll see you next time. I'll quickly do the repairs here, like this stuff here and whatever I can get fixed. So I'm not wasting any time, and we'll go directly into getting a new contract in the next episode. So I'll see you then. I appreciate you for hanging out.